Hello everybody and welcome back. For the next few videos, we're going to be doing something a little bit different for y'all. With the Christmas season quickly approaching and most of us doing markets, we want to share some of our recipes that are our best sellers in our store and at the markets that we do throughout the year. And the first one that we want to show you how we make is our strawberry sundae bubble bath. This one sells out. We can't make enough of it. And I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of love and effort goes into this one. This recipe is going to make 20 for you. If you need to make it less, you can find the recipe in the description box along with percentages. This way you can adjust the recipe to make as many or as few as you need to. We're going to start off by adding 16.75 ounces of baking soda to your mixing bowl, followed by 12.45 ounces of SLSA, 6.7 ounces of cream of tartar, 16.75 ounces of cornstarch, and yes, people, we are dumping things straight in the bowl. 2 teaspoons of mica. We used Heartbreaker mica from Nurture Handmade, formerly known as Nurture Soap. 1.65 ounces of strawberry fragrance oil. This one we got from Brambleberry. And this is optional, 0.35 ounces of Optifin Plus. Now the reason that we add a preservative to ours is because we don't know if people are going to be putting wet hands in this, breaking down the bubble bath to make 2 or 3 or 4 bubble baths. 1.7 ounces of polysorbate 80 and 2.15 ounces of glycerin. Add to all of this 12.55 ounces of cocamidal propylbutane. And as you can tell, we're going to have a bubbly mix by the time that we get done. Go ahead and set your stand mixer, or if you're mixing it by hand, more power to you. I want to not work that hard. After it gets all mixed up, we're going to take 10 ounces and transfer it to a smaller bowl. And with this 10 ounces, we are going to make our strawberry in-bed toppers. Now this is going to be a fluffy, puffy mixture, so you're going to want to let it set for probably 10-15 minutes. Punch it down, try to work some of the air bubbles out. Once you get it punched down and it's not puffing up as much as it was, add 1 teaspoon of red mica. Again, we get all our micas from Nurture Handmade. We're going to go ahead and set that aside because it was still puffing up a bit. To your strawberry mold, to help release the strawberries, add some mica to the inside of your mold, give it a shake, go ahead and dump out the remaining part of the mica, but leave it because we're going to be rolling balls of the bubble bath mixture into it so that we can shove them on down in these strawberries. Since we're making 20, we're going to go ahead and do this to all the cavities of this mold. To make it easier on us and not have mica flying everywhere, we're going to cover this with a piece of parchment paper. You can use wax paper. This just happens to be the backing from a bunch of labels after labeling our product. We're going to put a stiff board over that and we're just going to give it a good shake, and then we're going to dump everything out. So there you can see our mold is nice and coated on the inside. Our mixture has finally stopped puffing up so much, so we are taking that 10 ounces and breaking it into 1/2 ounce portions and rolling it into a ball. Once it's rolled into a ball, you can put it into the cavity and press down, not too gently, but not too firmly either. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. And once we have all these cavities filled, we're just going to set this aside for about 20-30 minutes while we work on the next part of our project. While the strawberries are resting, go ahead and grab your mixing bowl. I'm going to put mine back on the stand mixer to work out some of the air bubbles that got trapped in there, because you're going to notice that this mixture has puffed up quite a bit. This will only take about a minute. If you prefer to do this by hand, I do recommend using a silicone spatula because this mixture is going to get very, very sticky. Once your mixture has calmed down and it's not puffing up as much anymore, you're going to want to kind of move pretty quickly going forward because it's going to start to harden really soon. Place down a piece of parchment paper, wax paper, anything. If you're making this for your own personal use and you don't have to worry about weights and measurements, you can scoop it directly from the bowl. For us, since we are selling it and we want to make sure that the customer gets what they're paying for as far as weight goes, we do measure everything out. So we're measuring out about 3.1 ounces of the mixture, pushing it down into the ice cream scoop, and then scooping it out onto the paper. While we get on with making the other 19 scoops, if you could reach down and hit that subscribe button, give us a like, leave a comment for us about anything that you'd like to see in the future, we would really appreciate it, and that would help our channel to grow just a little bit. Next up, we're going to be making our bubble bath frosting, and if you watched our prior video, you will already be an expert on how to make this recipe. The recipe shown is a single batch, and we're going to make a double batch, so we're going to be doubling the recipe. Start off with 24 ounces of baking soda, add 4 ounces of cornstarch, 2 ounces of cream of tartar, 6 ounces of cocamidal propyl betaine, 0.36 ounces of fragrance oil. Again, we're using strawberry fragrance oil from Brambleberry. It's the best, I swear. And again, this is optional. We're going to add 0.09 ounces of Optifin Plus. Go ahead and get that on your stand mixer and give it a good whip. This is going to take about a minute or two. You're going to start off slow until all the powders have been coated and you don't have dust flying in the air. Then you're just going to turn it up to a heavier whip. You're going to notice that instead of going creamy right away, it's going to go crumbly. You're going to stop your mixer, scrape the bottom with a silicone spatula, and then just turn it up to high and start whipping. And before you know it, you're going to have a nice, light, fluffy bubble bath frosting. Once everything is good and whipped up, you're going to want to take your bowl and set it aside for 10-15 minutes. You want this mixture to firm up a bit so that it doesn't deflate when you frost the tops of these bubble bath scoops. While it's sitting and resting, we're going to go ahead and get our containers ready, and we're going to put our bubble bath scoops in upside down. This is going to make so much more sense here in just a second. Let me explain. Since the bottom of the cup is rounded and the bottom of the bubble bath scoop is flat, you're going to have a big gap at the bottom, and that's what your customers are going to see, or whoever you're gifting it to. By placing it upside down or even at a slight angle, what you're seeing is the bubble bath scoop filling up your cup. Then we're going to frost on top of that, and we're going to add our strawberries. So the fun is about to come. Get your cups out of the way. We're going to pop out our strawberries, and we are going to get these painted. This is a fun part. It actually only took about 5 minutes to do all 20. How we're going to paint that is we're going to take some green mica, add it to a small container. I have these small paint pots, and then you're going to add isopropyl alcohol to that. I use a 99% isopropyl alcohol. This is what your strawberries are going to look like. Let me show you. Dip your paintbrush into the mica and isopropyl alcohol. We're going to paint the stems of these strawberries. Don't be shy about it. You want it to be wet, because once you have the paint there, we're going to take the tip of the strawberry and we're going to dip it into this green eco glitter that we have. And there you go. There's your strawberry stem. It's really cute, and I think this is what attracts people to this. I did manage to get 5 minutes of work down to just a few seconds here. Once the strawberries are done, go ahead and prepare your frosting bag. We're using a large star tip. For those of you that have to measure, we're adding 1.7 ounces of frosting, maybe just a little bit more, to each one of these bubble scoops. Insert your strawberry, and voila, you did it. You have something that looks good enough to eat. The max that I make at one time is 20, and that's because the mixture, once it's set up and it stops inflating so much, you've got a limited amount of time to work with it before it starts going really, really hard. So we're able to work kind of fast because we make these all the time. If this is the first time that you're going to try this, I would recommend starting with a half batch and just doing 10 of them. That way you don't waste a lot of product. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we hope you got something out of this video that will help you in the future. Please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and get notified about all future videos and projects. And until next time, be blessed.